All right. So, hey everybody. Today I wanted to drop a video on what I consider the 10 most noticeable figures on in my collection. So, in recent days, I've come to realize that there's levels to this game, and I am nowhere near the top. And I literally just watched somebody, drop huge amounts of cash in an auction that I couldn't even fathom. Getting some pieces that undoubtedly were cool, but as I was looking at them, I was thinking to myself, are they really worth that much? They're desirable, they're awesome, they're playable, but do they look cool? Is that the thing that I would spend that much money to stand out on my shelf? And then it just, simply brought me to the question of, okay, well, what does stand out on my shelf? What catches my eye the most? What do I notice first when I walk into the room? And so, well, first I'll just start with a couple of runner-ups, and this is one of them, the Terminator dog. It comes with like a RoboCop figure, but this guy's awesome. I mean, he's got great articulation. The jaw does move, moves in crazy ways. I mean, you've got great articulation. I'll just give you a brief overview here of what you could be looking at, including lower extremities, etc. But its posability is really fantastic. It's very noticeable. It's one of the first things I notice on my shelf. But it is a runner up. So I guess I should also say that this list has no bearing on how much things cost. It has no bearing on um, sort of how desirable they were for me or anything. They just these are the things that I notice on myself on my shelves. And this is the next runner up, the new Spawn. So obviously, let me get back to cost. This is a $20 figure, and this gun doesn't come with him, but I added that gun from some select or something, and the figure does the rest. I mean, he's great. I already did a video on this, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but really, really noticeable on the shelf. You might even find his way into the top 10 before too long. Now let me get to the top 10, and in no particular order. So I guess let me grab them in the order and maybe which they're um, yeah, let me go the very scientific route and just start grabbing them by least noticeable, and we'll sort of default make our way to most. Um, so least noticeable, but certainly not a place of disparaging, considering he's still in the top 10. This is the SH Figuarts Boba Fett. Great looking figure. It is Boba Fett, so well, he's got that going for him. But they did a really great job on the paint apps on this thing. A lot of great details they hit. Yeah, it's Boba Fett, and he's next to Jabba the Hutt in my collection, but still he is more noticeable, and maybe it's because the flashy paint apps, etc. It's no bearing on how much it costs because you can get a Black Series one for about the same cost. So Boba Fett. Moving on. Let's see here. The next one is gonna be the Mafex Harley Quinn. She is gorgeous. You would say, okay, well, I've already got a DC Multiverse one, and she's pretty cool, and I don't really need another one. And maybe that's true, but like I said, she's just gorgeous. So let me just show you up close at the face there. I mean, nailed it. Great accessories, very very posable. The beautiful Margot Robbie, and so maybe I'm just biased, but again, I mean, it's Harley Quinn, and she's got a few other things going for her as well. So moving on. Next, I would have to say, let's see here, looking at the 10 that I picked out, it's probably Angela. Again, just breathtaking. not a figure that a lot of people have for whatever reason. I don't know why. Sorry, my sword's bent there, but I don't put it into place, so I haven't straightened it out anyway. But she's gorgeous. The coloring, the paint apps, the accessories, that hair, that head sculpt. I mean, they really nailed it with this one. This is a Todd McFarlane figure, I guess, going way back. Um, with Spawn, and then came over to Marvel, and where it is now, I have no idea. But if they ever make another one and they do better, I'd be surprised, but maybe not if McFarlane's involved. He treats his babies real nice. So, Angela, next. Let's see here. So just looking at them, I'm gonna go with, although this could probably change any day, literally. I'm gonna go with the SDCC exclusive John Connor, and it's really based on the bike. But having said that, they really nailed Edward Furlong there. It comes with great accessories besides the bike, and I got it popping a wheelie, so very noticeable. It's I think it's the most expensive thing in my selection of noticeable things, and this I probably overpaid for by some standards at $100. So everything on this list is going to be $100 or less, with this being the most expensive one, and that's literally just because it was probably an exclusive. So again, yeah. Moving on, the next one, and looking at them, I'm gonna have to say is, oh yeah, probably my favorite Hulk. This is War Hulk. That's not the axe that comes with it. It comes with some other noticeable, cool, weird stuff, but maybe it's how I have him posed. But he's always one of the first figures I notice. He does have the little back gadget there, but I couldn't care less because I don't have him facing away from anything, and nor would the figure itself. The mask is removable. Everything is removable. You can break this guy down to just, evil looking Hulk. And the more things you add, you can increase and decrease as you need to. But great looking figure. Next up on my list, and looking at them, I'm going to have to say is Dr. Manhattan. For anybody that's not familiar with this guy, this is the blue schlong dude from the movie, what was it, The Watchers? Yeah, at any rate, they killed this figure. They killed it. Probably one of the most powerful figures that's ever had an action figure made. Rank him right up there with, the Galactuses, other reality bending, manipulating, twisting, all that good stuff. But and he sort of bends the line between good and bad. It's my understanding as well. But the look is just great. Love this figure. Notice him all the time. Next up. Okay, let's see here. Next up, I'm going to have to say is, here we go. I've also made a video on this one, so I won't spend too much time, but this is the Reveltech Deathstroke. Just shiny, great look. And he's very actually posable and stable as well. I just didn't have him very stable in that particular moment in time. My apologies. But great looking figure, fabulous as far as his posability, his looks, etc. It does have its drawbacks here and there, but as far as just noticeable, bang, it's got your attention. The coloring, how distinct the things are, its accessories. It's a really great figure, no doubt about it. So that's probably next up on my list. How many do we have left? Let's see here. I think we're down to our last three. And so I guess let me go next with... Boom. So this is the one of the McFarlane Superman figures from the latest waves. Maybe not the latest waves, but at any rate, this is the Unchained Armor Superman. Those wings will fold out to become even larger. It is a huge figure. Great look. It's got its drawbacks here and there, but as far as noticeable, bang, it has got your attention right now. I'm not waiting around. And great looking figure, fun to play with. I have no idea about its story at all. Couldn't care less. When you're this cool looking, it doesn't really matter. So that's probably number 3 on the list. Down to the last 2. All right, so I'm looking at them. I'm gonna have to go with the Surfer. So let me get you a better look here. The Silver Surfer, I have him posed with Galactus, so maybe he just grabs my attention, but I think it's really just how cool of a figure it is. Great sculpt on that, the paint, very noticeable, silver, the board, the aerial. I mean, he's a great figure. I'm sure that so many people have this thing. It's not even funny, and there's a reason for it because he's awesome. And number 2 on my list of most noticeable figures on my shelf. So moving on to number 1, and I guess this comes as a bit of a surprise to me, in fact. But I am one to accept reality. This is the Red She-Hulk. She is from the Hit Monkey wave. Don't know why, but yeah, of the 10 things I picked out, she is the last one off the table here. So I guess what I'm considering my most noticeable action figure, at least in my eyes. I'm sure that people will argue with me, because they usually do. But at any rate, I just thought I'd share that with you. And in the immortal last words, in fact, of Socrates, he said, I drank what? All right.